Hi guys, welcome back to New Dram Drinker. This week we're doing another tasted and rated video, and the whiskey that I am going to be reviewing is okay, so as you saw from that video, we are reviewing the Waxhouse Company release number 2. This one's been a long time coming, to be honest. I remember when we were doing the distillery doorstep visits, and we got in touch with a load of distilleries that were in our local area, and the Waxhouse Whisky Company were actually one of those. And this wasn't out then. This was some months ago, you know, pre kind of COVID kind of era. And they just got in touch with us out of the blue again once it all started to calm down a little bit, and said they were sending us this sample through. No strings attached, just we wanted to try it and see what we thought of it. Then we would, and we offered to do a video on it because we're nice like that. The only disadvantage I would say that this whiskey has got now is I have tried, since talking to them, probably 2 of the nicest whiskies I would say that in the category that this fits into, the Wolf Burn and the Glenmorangie Masala cask. So it's probably up against a couple of my favourite whiskies that I wouldn't have had if I'd have had this when I first spoke to them. So,
and you're going in cold. You haven't tried this one yet, have you?
Yeah, because I think that I didn't want to do a review of it where I kind of knew what I was going to say. I just wanted to almost give my first impressions of it, because that's kind of what I did with the Wolf Burn as well. Haven't done the Glenmorangie as a review yet, I don't think, but
I think so.
So I'm going to go in for the bottle. Obviously it's a sample, but they've even gone kind of above and beyond with the sample really. They've wrapped it in the same kind of labels as they do the full bottle, and I do really like the full bottle. I must admit that they sell, because we did our Infinity bottle, the 50.1. I don't know if you remember that from many moons ago, and it's almost the same bottle as that. That's the bottle that I chose for our Infinity bottle. So it's kind of, it's very aesthetically pleasing to me, because it's got a kind of history of that style of bottle. But it's all about the whiskey that's inside that bottle really, isn't it? So should we do
colour first?
Oh yeah, onto the colour, yes. Yeah. Now we just said this, didn't we? The colour, it's in a standard Glencairn glass, but it looks a hell of a lot darker in there than it does in the bottle. Yeah. It's really strange, even just side by side. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. They look different colours completely. So it's a strange one. Whether the Glencairn glasses have got a slight tint to them, I don't know. But you know.
But it looks promising, doesn't it?
It looks very promising. I would say it's almost like a hazy gold. It's almost like it's not as clear, if you know what I mean. It's almost like almost got like a smoke kind of a tinge to the actual whiskey itself.
Well, it's non-chill filtered.
Yeah, don't know if that makes any difference. And the glass was clean. You know, we do freshly clean glasses before we use them. So I mean, you can see the legs on it, which is obviously from the high ABV, and it's 13-year-old as well, so it's not a young whiskey. But yeah, I mean, it's looking good so far, I must admit.
So it looks good, but does it smell good?
Can't get over that haze. Okay, so instantly I would say fruitcake.
Oh.
But you know, like a fruitcake that's like soaked in brandy, but not necessarily brandy. But you know, like when you smell a dark fruit cake that's got an alcoholic kind of,
like a wedding cake or a Christmas cake.
Yeah, but like it's got that kind of, you can just tell it's got the alcohol rising from it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you want to put a match and it's going to go woof. But it definitely, that instantly, you can instantly took me to like that real dark, rich, almost like if you pressed down on the cake, all the whiskey would like ooze out of it from yeah, making me hungry, making me want some cake. Yeah, like, it's all those things. It's raisins, even maybe like you can get some of them that have got icing sugar, can't you? Like an icing sugar around the outside of them.
Oh, like the marzipan.
Yeah, the marzipan, yes.
And then the icing.
Yeah, that's it.
Royal icing.
It's like, it's very much that because you got like I think.
Sounds like a wedding cake or Christmas cake.
It's not my words. I think someone else used it. It's like icing sugar, like that dry, powdery.
I know. Yeah.
Can't remember. Someone said it in one of the comments at some point, and it kind of stuck with me. But it's definitely got that kind of dusting of icing sugar on there. Like you say, the dark fruits, the raisins, the sultanas, the vanillas, the caramelised kind of. I've said it before, like the burnt raisins as well. There's definitely like a. It's not peat or anything like that. It's like a. I'd say like a toasted.
Oh, okay.
Rather than a.
Like when you've baked a rock cake or something, and the raisins have got burnt.
Yeah, I think I've said it before. It's not. It's almost like a very kind of. It's not smoke. Yeah. And it's not peat, but it's got a burntness
like
to it. Yeah, I suppose
yeah.
it could be like a charring kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't get past the cake, to be honest. I mean, it's such a prominent kind of visualisation for me. It's hard to get past it.
Would you like me to tell you what the official notes are?
Yeah, go on.
The official nosing notes are Christmas cake,
Boom.
toasted malt loaf, which I love malt loaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, that's
toasted,
dark, isn't it? I suppose
and
it's
toasted,
yeah,
you said, yeah.
Similar.
Orange peel and chocolate dipped raisins. They're saying.
Okay.
Can you get any chocolate?
No, we always struggle
You
with that.
love chocolate dipped raisins. Eats them by the bagful.
No, I don't get the chocolate.
Yeah.
I must admit, it's more that cake, more the cake than anything else. Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice.
Is it making you want to drink it?
Oh yeah, it's making me want to eat cake as well. To be honest, it's not necessarily just. Okay, I'm going to go in on that. It's quite funny now because the haziness is almost settling. Right, I'm going in. Sorry, I'm just enjoying it. Yeah, so good so far. Cheers.
Go on then.
Well, that's different.
In what way?
There's a burntness.
Okay.
Like I've said, it's not a peat, it's not a smoke, it's not the bonfire kind of things that we've used in the past to kind of the levels of the peat and smoke.
Yeah.
It's like a burnt toast.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's that. You get it's almost like, you know, when you get up in the morning, this might just be me, so bear with me. You put some toast under the grill, yeah? And then you forget about it because you go and brush your teeth. And then you come back and it's really burnt. And you can't be bothered to make some more. So you just put the jam on it and eat it. And it's all crumbly and burnt. And it's like, it's nice because it's sweet and everything else. But it's just got that burntness going through it. It's like that. It's very similar to that.
Is it sweet though as well at the same time?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's the jam. Because the jam isn't burnt, obviously, because it's just the toast, isn't it? It's under the grill.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got the jam, which is as it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But then the toast underneath it is just like burnt and breaks off and crumbles, and it's like. But for some reason, it's nice in a drink. Because I don't think I've ever had that in such a. I think I've had a burnt, toasted kind of. You know, it's usually the casks that have been charred and things like that. But that is like, it's like a food burnt. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
Are you getting anything else?
And if I'm the only one who eats burnt toast with jam on in the mornings because I'm brushing my teeth, then I apologise.
How's the ABV?
You can tell it's a high ABV,
Yeah.
but not to the point where it's like, you know, sometimes you can have it and it will be too strong and you can't get anything else from it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's just, it's there, and it lets you know it's there, but it's not to the detriment of the flavours.
I was going to say, do you think the flavours are so strong that they're almost making it really pleasurable?
That burn is so like, oh, try it. Sorry, we just did this, but it's such a note that I've not had before. That's so strong of burn. Can you get it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But the sweetness is there at the same time, isn't it?
There's definitely two things going on.
Yeah.
The fruitiness.
Yeah.
The fruitiness is huge.
You've got, it's almost, I suppose you could take it back to the nose, because it's almost like that fruitcake that's been overcooked and it's burnt, and the raisins have all, like you said, have gone but hard, and
the fruit, the actual fruit flavour is huge. It literally, and honest to goodness, that is the first sip I've had of this. But the fruit is huge, and then you get the burnt flavour. But like you said, it's not like a campfire ash charcoal.
No.
It is like a food
like
burnt.
a food burnt.
It does remind me of like a, you know, like if you had and I'm not thinking burnt toast because I don't eat burnt toast. But you know, if you had an apple crumble or something like that, not that I can eat that either. But it just reminds me of, you know, when it goes, all the juices go sticky at the top. It's that. It is a fruit.
Or the bread and
burnt.
butter pudding or something like that, where it's all gone like burnt on the top. It's just that. I think there's lots of different puddings you could.
You've gone back to your cake again. You haven't done cakes for ages.
But I think I always go to that when it's a
fruity
sherry smoked kind of that. It's either a cake that's like nice and soft, or
something
it's
that's cooked in the oven as well.
Yeah,
isn't
it always takes me back to that.
Would you like me to read you the official notes? Because I have to say, you are very on the money today, Manton.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, on the palate, they are saying stewed fruits, black cherries, burnt orange, balanced with sticky bread and butter pudding, full-bodied and creamy. Now, I'd say it was creamy, and I'm wondering if that's what, you know, they said chocolate dipped on the nose. Sometimes I get chocolate if it is a creamy one.
Yeah.
But the fruit for me is huge, the fruit and the burntness.
From their notes, I think I've nailed what it is that it reminds me of.
Go on.
One of those apple strudel, kind of fruit strudels in the oven.
Yeah. It made me think of the fruit.
That oozes out, doesn't it, and burns on the pan.
And you know when it almost goes like lava?
Yeah.
And you can't eat it, it's so hot.
That is.
It is the stickiness,
on the
isn't it?
nose, it's the cake. On the palate, it's that strudel that's burnt, but it's all that burnt that's on the pan that's left. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, really good.
I think we did well to like with their notes and our like mine. It kind of got us to what
and I think
it actually is.
It's really great when a whiskey, the flavours are so intense that it's unmistakable. Yet you're not grasping for what they are. It's just like, bang, I'm there. That's what it is.
So no, I've just had that, and then I got a little peat kick as well. I think now my palate's acclimatising to it. There's almost a little like there's a nice little peatness to it on the end as well. That's really nice, you know. Really, I'm really impressed with that.
Okay, so you said peatness on the end. Anything else on the finish? How would you describe the finish?
Give me a second, I'm going to pour some more.
Save me some.
I was going to say a little bit, but I don't
Save me some.
Yeah, that... I would definitely say on the finish, that kind of burntness turns into a peat.
Yeah.
It actually, the spice kicks in, so it could be like that spice strudel, like the cinnamon and all the different spices on there. Pepper, there's some pepper now. Tell you what, it's a journey whiskey. I'll give it that.
And you didn't mention spices on the nose or the palate, so it's really nice.
That's
when
what
you
I'm
get
saying. It's
the
the definite journey of. I love it when it's the nose, the palate, and the finish are different sets of notes completely. They're not. Some whiskies you can have, and they're hard to review, to be honest, because you know that you're doing it, and you know that, well, I just said that for the nose, and then the finish, well, I just said that for the nose and the palate. So it's all very, you just repeating the same notes all through the video, isn't it, really? But this one, it changes, it evolves as you drink it.
So imagine if you'd have sat with this all week. Imagine how long your notes would be. It'd be really exciting.
I mean, I'll be truthful with you. I mean, it's £85 a bottle, and when you obviously get sent a sample, and the first thing you do is you go and get some information on it for the video, and I saw the price of it, and I was a bit, oof, that's expensive for a brand that I was fairly kind of unknown, to us kind of thing. So I was like, £85, I can buy a hell of a lot of nice whiskies for 85 quid. So I must admit, I was a bit dubious about it. I think I'd probably buy a bottle, to be honest.
Would you say it was worth £85?
I would, because it's a whiskey like on the shelf that I could give to someone and be excited about giving to them, and I think that's what it is. I'd be excited about drinking it myself because it's bloody lovely, and if someone came round who knew their whiskey, I think I wouldn't be worried about giving it to them and saying, you're going to like this. If it's in their kind of range of what they like, I'd be happy to say, have a go at this. And I think it's a good one. You're probably a little bit past this now on your peat journey, because it is very more burnt and touch of peat.
I didn't get any peat in the little sip that
but I think it's a very good,
it's an enjoyable whiskey
on your journey kind of whiskey from just sherry to peat. I think it's a very good shout. Like I say, expensive, but you pay and you get what you pay for. So my initial thing would be it was expensive, but after tasting it,
it's a really enjoyable.
And it is the same kind of price as the Glenmorangie and Wolfburn as well, so it's not too far out of the realm of buying it.
Do you want me to tell you the official finish notes?
Yes, if you don't mind.
So the official finish notes are dark chocolate and sugared almonds, give way to licorice root, deep notes of Oloroso sherry. Oloroso. They didn't say any spice. They're saying nuts, so almonds and licorice.
No,
it's interesting. You've got
different completely for me on that.
Lovely.
But,
how nice that I love those whiskies that we could probably sit and talk about all night. If we both had a sample, you could just talk about it.
Because I think sometimes you do reviews of samples, and you'd finish the sample, and that's kind of the end of it. You don't really think about buying a bottle. It's just you give you a review of it so that people who may want to buy it can use your kind of information you give them and buy it. But I think I'd definitely buy this, to be honest. I think it's well worth it, to be honest.
So tasted and rated. You've tasted it, and now you need to rate it.
So that's still tricky, even though I love it, because you have to have some kind of level-headedness about it, don't you, I suppose, because I have got other ones which are... No, screw it. I'm going to give it a gold, because I think the Wolfburn was close to Epiphany, and the Glenmorangie was equally close, giving away the review before we've even done it. But the Glenmorangie Masala cask is absolutely stunning. Everything you wanted, so that, maybe an Epiphany, if you tune in a few months' time for that video. So this fits in at gold quite nicely, to be honest.
How beautiful.
Because it's, like I said, it's a journey whiskey. It's not a one-note whiskey. It's got a lot of different things going on, and I do like that. And I think it's one that I'd be happy. I've got lots of whiskies on this bar, that I would not give to people who came round who know their whiskey, because I class them as one-note whiskies. I like to give the people something that they might not have, and a journey that they might not have, and I think this would do that. So I would give it a gold. I'm happy to have tried it, and I'm happy to buy a bottle.
Fantastic. I'm happy you liked it. Well done.
I'm happy I liked it.
It could have gone two ways. When you go in cold, you never know.
And it's like, I know there's this big kind of thing on YouTube at the moment about samples and whether it kind of makes you give it a good review over a bad one because you were given it. I would hope that from watching our reviews you would know that we're so early on our journey that we only know what we like, if you know what I mean. So we will try a whiskey, and if we like it, we like it. If we don't, we don't. We're not. I'm not going to gain anything from giving a review of a whiskey that I've been given any more than not. So I hope that you can trust us with that,
Yeah.
because we need you to trust us with that. We can't
Yeah.
prove it to you in any other way other than just doing what we do and hoping that you can see through us that we're being truthful, and that's kind of, you know.
And this one was exactly the kind of flavours that you enjoy. So
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it was a good one to kind of take a chance on, I suppose.
Yeah.
But luckily, it was very nice, because I would tell it if it wasn't, because
You
why
would
not?
just say it wasn't your cup of
Yeah,
tea, yeah.
I would, yeah, and I'd give it a bronze or the rubbish rating, which no whiskey's had yet, I don't think. But it's nice. Hallelujah, it's nice. So, yeah, I would buy a bottle, definitely. So,
Fantastic.
cool.
Before we close, anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you for watching. As ever, we love your comments. We love, you joining. There's people joining the certified originals. There's people coming into the chat every other week. There's lots of different things going on in there. So please join. We'd love to have you. And I suppose I should just get onto the last little bit and say, I did pour some more, didn't I? So I can't say I've still got some in my glass, because this is a second pour.
But it's only a tiny bit.
As we always say here on New Dram Drinker, pour it, drink it, enjoy it.